Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha
Gopika Kanta
Kanta
Namaste.
Tapti Kanchan Gaurati Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Jatya Kshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sati
Srivasadi Gaura
Bhakta Varanda.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are reading from Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 10. We are in the middle of the purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So the verse is that there is no passion and ignorance in the spiritual world, and everyone's a devotee there. So the whole situation there is one of freedom from the illusory manifestation of the external energy. Although illusory energy is also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, illusory energy is differentiated from the Lord. The illusory energy is not, however, false, as claimed by the monist philosophers. So in Vaikuntha, there is no illusion. Over there, people we don't think ourselves separate from Krishna, in the sense, we know we are his eternal parts and parcels, and we are situated in our relationship with him. Just same over here, how we are situated we have relationship with our parents, with our spouse, our siblings, our children. Same way over there also we are situated in our eternal relationships, which never are going to change. Nobody dies there. So that's why there is no influence of external energy, Mahamaya. So, and this Mahamaya, this external energy of the Lord is not false. You know, some kind of monist philosophers, they say, oh, whatever you see, this world is false. No, this world is very true. It's the energy of Krishna. But we thinking that we are the body eternally, that conception is false. You know, the fault is that I'm not this body, I'm the soul. That's the truth. When we think we are the body, that is what is false. But we are very much here right now, inside this body. The rope accepted as a snake may be an illusion to a particular person, but the rope is a fact, and the snake is also a fact. The illusion of water on the hot desert may be illusion for the ignorant animal searching for water in the desert, but the desert and water are actual facts. Therefore, the material creation of the Lord may be an illusion to the non-devotee, but to a devotee, even the material creation of the Lord is a fact, as the manifestation of his external energy. But this energy of the Lord is not all. So we sometimes, we know that in the desert, it's easy to see a mirage because we are so much wanting to see water. We are wanting water. So in a desert, we will see, oh, there is really water. But if you go actually and see it, there isn't. Or sometimes we might mistake, there is a snake lying there and we think it's a rope, you know. So that is an illusion. But the material world, this material world is, it is existing. But thinking that this material world is our true permanent home, that is our illusion. For example, we are sitting on a bus, on a journey. So the bus is very real. And we are sitting there on the bus, that is also a fact. But now thinking, but we sit on the bus for a short time, no? After our journey finishes, we get off the bus. But thinking that this seat that I'm sitting on in the bus is permanently mine, you know? So that is the illusion, thinking that this body that I am right now, that is me eternally. That is what is the illusion. Is that okay?
Yes. Yes, it is all temporary. Right?
Yes.
It's temporary. It's not permanent. That's
Yes.
the only difference, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. And we thinking that we are this body, that is our greatest illusion. So the Lord has his internal energy also, which has another creation known to be the Vaikuntha Lokas, where there is no ignorance, no passion, no illusion, and no past and present. With a poor fund of knowledge, one may be unable to understand the existence of such things as the Vaikuntha atmosphere, but that does not nullify its existence. That spacecraft cannot reach these planets does not mean that there are no such planets, for they are described in the revealed scriptures. So apart from this material creation that we see, there is an eternal spiritual creation, the Vaikuntha Loka, the spiritual world, which is made up of, which is of coming from the internal energy of Krishna. Now, some of us maybe don't have the information of the Vaikuntha Loka, but it doesn't mean that the Vaikuntha Loka does not exist. Just because I don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It is clearly mentioned in the revealed scriptures. In the Vedic scriptures, the devotees are time and again explaining to us, they're describing to us about the spiritual world. But if we are not looking into it, it doesn't mean that the spiritual world is not there. So it's just like if we are in a kindergarten, and then if somebody tells us that, you know, there's something called math equations and you can do complex formulas, and just because we don't understand it, we say, oh, what you're talking is all false, you know. It's of no use. It does not exist. But it's just because the child is unable to understand it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. As quoted by Srila Jiva Goswami, we can know from the Narada Pancharatra that the transcendental world or Vaikuntha atmosphere is enriched with transcendental qualities. So the Narada Pancharatra is given by Narad Muni. He is one of the Mahajans. And then Narad Muni is saying that the spiritual world has all the transcendental qualities. Jiva Goswami is bringing this to our point. Srila Jiva Goswami, he has, you know, done a lot of research work in the Vedic scriptures, and he's giving us all the information which is needed for us to understand about the nature of the spiritual world. These transcendental qualities, as revealed through the devotional service of the Lord, are distinct from the mundane qualities of ignorance, passion, and goodness. So how can we understand the transcendental qualities? We need to engage in bhakti. The more we hear and chant, the more things will become clearer. That's the way to understand the spiritual knowledge, through bhakti yoga. And then the more we engage in bhakti yoga, the more our qualities of passion and ignorance will go away. Such qualities are not attainable by the non-devotee class of men. Means the transcendental qualities are not understood by the non-devotees. Why? Because they are not engaging in bhakti yoga. They don't want to know. So then Krishna does not reveal those things to them. In the Padma Purana, Uttarakhanda, it is stated that beyond the 1/4 part of God's creation is the 3/4 manifestation. The marginal line between the material manifestation and the spiritual manifestation is the Viraja river. Viraja, and beyond the Viraja, which is the transcendental current flowing from the perspiration of the body of the Lord, there is the 3/4 manifestation of God's creation. So we all want to know, oh, what is all this material world about? Is there another world? You know, that's what the scientists are also trying to send spaceships here and there. But we cannot reach the higher planets just by some machine. You know, it requires, we need to be qualified to reach there. But here, by the mercy of the devotees, Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining to us. So in the Padma Purana, which is one of the Puranas, Padma Purana in the Uttarakhanda. So the evidence is given, like how in the law book, if the lawyer is saying, oh, according to this law, this section, this should be the statement. So here also it's given in Padma Purana in Uttarakhanda. What is mentioned? That this material creation is 1/4. And then the 3/4 is the spiritual creation. And between the material creation and the spiritual creation, there is a Viraja river. In between these two worlds, between the material world and spiritual world, there is the Viraja river. Okay, and then this, which is a current flowing from the perspiration of the body of the Lord. So this Viraja river, how does it manifest? It is coming from the body of the Supreme Lord. So this part is eternal, everlasting, without deterioration, and unlimited. And it contains the highest perfectional stage of living conditions. This is in the Vaikuntha world. The Vaikuntha Loka is eternal. It doesn't deteriorate. Here in the material world, we have experience. Anything we try to preserve, no matter how much we take care of them, no matter how much we maintain, it will keep deteriorating. Again, we have to maintain it. Be it our apartments, be it our body, you know, anything we can see. With time, everything deteriorates. But in the spiritual world, it doesn't. It doesn't. And it's unlimited. There's no end. And over here, we can see that over here, there's so much envy amongst each other. We have so much pride and arrogance. So that's why there's so much anxiety and fear. But in the spiritual world, no. It's very peaceful. It's all loving relationships with each other. Why? Because the center is Krishna. In the Sankhya Kaumudi, it is stated that unalloyed goodness or transcendence is just opposite to the material modes. All living entities there are eternally associated without any break, and the Lord is the chief and prime entity. In the Agama Puranas also, the transcendental abode is described as follows. The associated members there are free to go everywhere within the creation of the Lord, and there is no limit to such creation, particularly in the region of the 3/4 magnitude. Since the nature of that region is unlimited, there is no history of such association, nor is there end of it. So here, the Prabhupada is telling us, and Jiva Goswami is bringing to our point, that in so many Puranas, the Vaikuntha Loka is described. And then over there, it's unlimited. It keeps on increasing. Although it's 3/4, but it keeps on increasing. And the inhabitants of the Vaikuntha Lokas, they can travel from one planet to another within the spiritual sky. They can. They have the ability. It's written here that the associated members there are free to go everywhere within the creation of Lord. We don't have that facility here. We have to qualify ourselves. Over there, they're already qualified. So that's why they can do that. And the nature of that region is unlimited. Why? Because it's eternally exists. It's existing since eternal. Over here, everything for us is, oh, it has to have a beginning and it has to have an end. That's our material conception, our limited conception, because we are limited, but the spiritual world is unlimited, unlimited. The conclusion may be drawn that because of the complete absence of the mundane qualities of ignorance and passion, there is no question of creation nor of annihilation. In the material world, everything is created and everything is annihilated, and the duration of life between the creation and annihilation is temporary. In the transcendental realm, there is no creation and no destruction, and thus the duration of life is eternal unlimitedly. So here, as we just said, we have experienced everything as a birth date and an expiry date, even our bodies. That's why we say birth date. You know, this is my birthday, because that's the day we came out into this material world. We took this body. That's why we have birth date, and then death date. And then whatever happens is temporary in between of this lifespan. Everything is temporary. It keeps changing. Circumstance change, everything changes. But in the spiritual world, there is no manufacture date and expiry date. Everything just exists, permanent. That's why it's called eternal. In other words, everything in the transcendental world is everlasting, full of knowledge and bliss, without deterioration. Since there is no deterioration, there is no past, present, and future in the estimation of time. It is clearly stated in this verse that the influence of time is conspicuous by its absence. So as over here in the material world, with time, everything deteriorates, everything finishes, everything changes with time. In the spiritual world, no, it doesn't. It's ever fresh. Nothing over there wilts. Like over here, we have a flower. For how long can the flower stay? There's a bud, then it blooms, it stays for some time, then it deteriorates. But in the spiritual world, everything exists eternally, beautifully. So there is no conception of past, present, and future there, because there is no effect of time. There are no such actions and reactions of cause and effects there. So the cycle of birth, growth, existence, transformations, deterioration, and annihilation, the 6 material changes, are not existent there. It is the unalloyed manifestation of the energy of the Lord, without illusion, as experienced here in the material world. So that everything exists in its eternal, true, pure form in the spiritual world. The whole Vaikuntha existence proclaims that everyone there is a follower of the Lord. The Lord is the chief leader there, without any competition for leadership. And the people in general are all followers of the Lord. So here in this material world, Krishna created because we wanted to compete with him. We want to become God. So that's why he said, okay, try for yourself in this material world. We can't do that in the spiritual world. Why? Because everybody is a devotee there. Everything is happening in a proper, with keeping Krishna in the center. So he created this material world for us to see. So that's why in the spiritual world, there is no competition for leadership. Everybody is situated in the eternal, peaceful, original positions. It is confirmed in the Vedas, therefore, that the Lord is the chief leader and all other living entities are subordinate to him. For only the Lord satisfies all the needs of all other living entities. So in our conditioned life, we say, no, why should I be subordinate to the Lord? I can do it myself. That is due to our conditioning. That is due to our consciousness has become covered. But the more we hear and chant, we will be situated in our true position and realize, yes, it's true. Actually, it is God who's providing for me. I can't even produce one seed. So how would I eat food? And the fire in the digesting my food, also what I'm eating, Krishna is helping me digest. So for him, without him, I can't maintain myself. I can't exist without Krishna. I exist because Krishna exists. So our very existence is dependent on Krishna. So by Bhakti Yoga, gradually, we can come to understand this and make our life successful so that we don't need to come again in this material world. But after we leave the body, go back to the spiritual world, back home, back to Godhead. Any questions or comments? No?
No, all clear.
All clear? So, okay, we can read this one then. Text 11. Shyama vadata shataparalochanaha vishanga vastra surucha supeshaha sarve chaturbahava unmishanmani praveka nishkabharanaha suvarchasaha. Translation. The inhabitants of the Vaikuntha planets are described as having a glowing sky bluish complexion. Their eyes resemble lotus flowers, their dress is of yellowish color, and their bodily features very attractive. They are just like the age of growing youths. They all have 4 hands. They are all nicely decorated with pearl necklaces, with ornamental medallions, and they all appear to be effulgent. So here is a description of the Vaikuntha Vasis, the inhabitants who live in the Vaikuntha Lokas, the many planets in which Lord Narayan lives. The inhabitants in Vaikuntha Lokas are all personalities with spiritual bodily features, not to be found in the material world. We can find the descriptions in the revealed scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam. Impersonal descriptions of transcendence in the scriptures indicate that the bodily features in Vaikuntha Loka are never to be seen in any part of the universe. So, like this bodily features, we don't have 4 arms, or we don't have such glowing, effulgent bodies, bluish complexion. And then they are very beautifully decorated with a lot of jewelry, wearing yellowish garments. So it is all in the Vaikuntha Loka. In the material world, everything is perverted. So things are not as beautiful. As there are different bodily features in different places of a particular planet, or as there are different bodily features between bodies in different planets. Similarly, the bodily features of the inhabitants in Vaikuntha Loka are completely different from those in the material universe. For example, the 4 hands are distinct from the 2 hands in this world. So here also we can see people born in different parts of the world have different kind of bodily features, depending in which area they are born. So similarly, within the universe also, when we are born in different planets, we have different bodily features suited to that atmosphere. So same way, in the spiritual world, there are different bodily features because there's all Satchidananda. There's nothing material there. All Satchidananda. So this is not being described of Goloka Vrindavan, but this is being described of the other Vaikuntha planets. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So text 12. Pravala vaidoria mrinala varchasaha parisfurat kundala mauli malinaha. Some of them are effulgent like coral and diamonds in complexion and have garlands on their heads, blooming like lotus flowers, and some wear earrings. There are some inhabitants who have attained the liberation of sarupya, or possessing bodily features like those of the personality of Godhead. So as we know, there are 5 kinds of liberation. And one type of liberation is getting the same bodily features as the Lord, as Lord Narayan. And then, so there are so many planets in which, like this perfected living entities, they live there. And their body looks same like Narayan's body. The Vaidoria diamond is especially meant for the personality of Godhead, but one who achieves the liberation of bodily equality with the Lord is especially favored with such diamonds on his body. So it seems Krishna has a very special diamond called vaidoria, and somebody who has qualified to achieve a similar body as of God, they also get this vaidoria diamond. Is that okay? So the Lord also lives. It's not that the Lord personal form is not there. He's also there, but there are these perfected living beings. Sorry. I'm sorry, who are living on the same planet as him, and they look like him. So if we want, we can also go there. Okay, so let's see if the other one is. We can stop here.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. But the other one is long now.
Yeah, might take a bit longer. So we can stop here then. So thank you so much for joining in, and we had a slight glimpse of the Vaikuntha lokas today and of the inhabitants. I hope it was pleasing to everyone.
Oh, yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining in.